I'm Jackie Lingla, ready to give you what is happening in Uganda. Apparently, from the 17th to the 23rd, each and every year in this month was earmarked by the United Nations as the Global Road Safety Week, where nations have to, look back and know how many accidents have they exercised in the entire year, and of course, create awareness for road safety to most of the people out there. Now, in Uganda, we have launched that for the first time. Today, I'll be giving you details about that story. Good afternoon. And now, as I've said, that on the 17th to the 23rd, each and every year in this month, globally, most of the countries identify this one, or it has been earmarked as the Global Road Safety Week, where, while addressing the media, Katumba Wamala, the Minister for Works and Transport, has actually cited out the challenges that Uganda has faced in the road, in the transportation sector, and say that the media has played a good role in identifying this. Now, while actually launching this Road Safety Week, he has said that Ugandans have to take precaution to make sure that the number of accidents become minimal in the country per day.
I'm honored today to officiate at the launch of the 6th UN Global Road Safety Week 2021 here at the Uganda Media Center. This activity will run for a full week. It's a global event. Globally, the period from 17th to 23rd May 2021 has been earmarked to commemorate the 6th Global Safety Week of 2021. I'm happy that Uganda, as a nation, we have joined the rest of the world in marking the event under the theme Streets for Life, #Love30, and that will be explained soon. That calls for 30 kilometers per hour speed limit on streets where people walk in order to save lives, especially pedestrians, cyclists, school children, and any other person using the road. Fellow Ugandans, Uganda is still faced with the road safety challenges. In 2020, the reported deaths due to road crashes were 3,663. That's a lot of lives lost in 1 year. And most of these are young people between the ages of 17 to 35. And this is the workforce of the nation. But even if they were older than that, we don't want to lose anybody. We'd rather not lose anybody. Just last week, and thanks again to the media, you brought into our sitting rooms the images of the accident which happened in Masaka, where 15 lives were lost in a matter of minutes. 15 lives in a matter of minutes. This is all an aspect of which raises concern as far as safety on our roads is concerned.
In addition, he has pointed out that Ugandans, especially those that are driving within the urban centers, should at least reduce the speed to at least 30 kilometers per hour to reduce the number of accidents that are caused per day, and also to be careful even if you're not the driver in a car.
Research has shown that reducing speed by just 5% cuts fatalities by 30%. I therefore call upon each and every one of us, each and every one of you, as you live here, as you sit in that vehicle, if you're not the one driving, even if somebody is driving, tell him to reduce the speed to 30 kilometers per hour in the urban center. Not only today, but always, because in the urban centers we have more activity, we have more people moving back and forth. So please, and there is no need to speed in the urban center. And I hope that even the other road users, our friends who use the sirens, the ones who go wee, 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 we'll also stop using, going as if tomorrow is not there, as if the life will come to stop if it drives at 30 kilometers per hour. This should be a call for us, for everybody, for all the road users, those who are behind the wheels, and even you as a passenger seated in that vehicle. Don't just look on. Don't just look on. Take this as one of our responsibilities so that we can reduce and save lives. I'm delighted by this year's United Nations Global Road Safety Week theme, which says Streets for Life, hash love 30. Love your life, love everybody, love your country. So if you love your country, if you love yourself, if you love your friends, if you love other road users, please drive at 30 kilometers per hour, maximum in the urban center.
Outbreak that disrupted the supply chains and other sectors globally. Apparently, Uganda realized a positive growth in the economy by 2.9% in the financial year 2019-2020. While addressing the media, Finance Minister Matia Kasaija stated that although the level of growth was actually lower than the projected, which was 6.3%, it was a good performance as compared to most of the economies that were affected by the virus worldwide.
Despite the impact of COVID-19, the Ugandan economy realized a positive growth of 2.9% in financial year 19-20. In nominal terms, the economy expanded to shillings 138 trillion 841 billion, or 37.4 US dollars billion, up from 131 trillion 406 billion, or US dollars 35.2 billion in year 18-19. Although this level of growth was lower than the projected growth of 6.3%, it was good performance when compared to many countries globally, especially the sub-Saharan Africa, where real GDP growth was negative 2.3% in the calendar year of 2020. In financial 2020-21, we project growth to be 3.1%. Economic growth strategy. The budget for financial 21-22 will focus on interventions which will sustain recovery from the socio-economic setbacks caused by that disease, too well, called COVID-19, and other domestic shocks, such as the locust invasion, you remember, that had a problem. The floods, they are still around, and external shocks, such as supply disruptions caused by the lockdowns world over, and the trade barriers that affect the export of some commodities, as you remember our maize.
And now, in addition, he has stated that the government has set up initiatives to support those people that have been affected during the pandemic, especially in the business community, and has advised many Ugandans to enter into the production sector in order for the economy to thrive.
I've had a number of projects or initiatives to help our people to get out of kukolera kida kyonka. There's our language somewhere in eastern Uganda. They say kida kyonka. The president has got the one of northern Uganda. I have not got it fully. I would have said, but you have heard it. Kukolera olubuto lwokka. Kukolera enda yonka. We can't continue running a state, a modern state in Uganda, when people are just working for the stomach. No, everybody must be brought in the line of production for market. Eat, but also get money. Because otherwise they will remain parasites. They want good roads, They are the ones asking for hospitals, they're asking for schools, they want good water. Where do I get the money to do all those things? Come into the production sector. So we thought we needed to go down where we can easily reach them. Hitherto, Ntandikwa, Kulembeka, whatnot, the money would stop somewhere. Now we say we are going to the parish, because the parish chief will know who are the people who are still under subsidy. The RC2 and the RC1 at the village will know and identify, and we organize. So please, the press, I want you really to appeal to you. I want you to popularize. If you want, we can go even put a seminar and bring the experts on this.
For you locally, and right now we'll be taking you into the health tips. And now many people, especially those in Uganda that are below the poverty line, might ignore having an apple on their plate for a day as inclusive in their diet. Yet actually apples are very, very nutritious and helpful. We have so many benefits that we can derive from them. So today in the health tips, we bring you the health benefits of eating an apple a day so that you can stay healthy even during these COVID-19 times.
Find out health benefits of eating an apple every day. 1. They improve brain health. Acetylcholine is increased in your brain each time you eat an apple. This is directly linked to better concentration, problem solving, and remembering. 2. Reduces your risk of dementia, stroke, and diabetes. To start, each apple contains nutrients that prevent you from oxidative stress, which is what causes diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's diseases. Next, both men and women can have their risk of stroke lowered by consuming at least one apple each day. Additionally, they contain polyphenols, which can even out your blood sugar levels, lower glucose absorption, and stimulate insulin release, all of which are beneficial to those with diabetes. 3. Lowers cholesterol for those whose levels are too high. The fiber that is found in this fruit can naturally lower the cholesterol levels in your body, which can help protect against cardiovascular diseases. It's also important to note that there are two kinds of cholesterol, HDL, which is good, and LDL, which is bad. And consuming this crunchy fruit shows a reduction in the LDL, but an increase in the HDL. 4. Decreases risk of obesity. Each apple you eat is full of water and fiber, and the two of those together make you feel less hungry and reduces your appetite. Not only that, but this fruit is also burned quickly by your body, preventing any of the apples from turning into stored fat.
As our neighbors here in the East African bloc, that is Kenya, is still fighting the third wave of COVID-19 since March 2020, and the cases are at their highest peak. Hospitals are draining out under the stress of the virus as the oxygen reserves fizzle out. According to sources, on the roof of the Metropolitan Hospital, a brand new oxygen production unit has been installed to meet the demands and the needs that is capable of producing of up to 600 liters of gas per minute.
India's lack of oxygen to help the COVID-19 patients has prompted Kenyan hospitals to scramble for the gas. This Nairobi's private Metropolitan Hospital has installed a brand new oxygen production unit capable of producing up to 600 liters of the gas per minute.
The reason we decided to invest in an oxygen plant was to improve our capacity to provide service safely, because oxygen is very, very key in critical care. So we wanted to make sure that we were self-reliant.
The availability of medical oxygen has become a critical issue in many countries, especially developing ones. In India, the situation became alarming and patients died due to lack of oxygen.
Kenyans have been going to India for treatment. To see India overrun, the Indian healthcare system overrun and overwhelmed, gets us worried If that's a place we've been going to and they can't cope, then what happens if we have the same problem?
In April, Kenya registered a record 571 deaths, and the health ministry warned hospitals were overrun with fewer than 300 patients in the intensive care unit and fewer than 2,000 hospitalized countrywide.
Have been crippled by foreign debt, yet Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok hopes Sudan can wipe out its staggering $60 billion foreign debt by actually the upcoming Paris conference that could bring much needed investment. In the past 2 years, Hamdok and his government have pushed to rebuild the crippled economy and end Sudan's international isolation.
The U.S. Center for Disease Control loosened some of its restrictions for fully vaccinated Americans on Thursday, sparking hopes of a return to normalcy in a not-so-distant future.
Fully vaccinated people are at a very, very low risk of getting COVID-19. Therefore, if you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. I think it's a great milestone, a great day.
The new rule will apply to workplaces, schools, and similar venues, but not to public transports and other crowded indoor settings where everyone must continue to wear a mask. The announcement was the latest attempt by U.S. health authorities to encourage more Americans to get the shot, and came days after the country opened up vaccination to children aged 12 and above. In this New Orleans clinic, kids and teenagers were already looking forward to resuming their pre-pandemic lives.
The more people who get vaccinated, the sooner we can all go back to normal. And it's not scary, it does not hurt, and it's such a relief. And I think, we'll get to have normal school, we'll get to see people's smiles in their faces.
The loosening of restrictions comes as the country's vaccination campaign is beginning to show results. The U.S. saw infection rates drop by a third over the past 2 weeks, with 59% of Americans having now received at least one dose of the vaccine.
That is exactly happening in the United States, where officials have come out to say that those that are fully vaccinated can actually put off their masks as long as they are in limited congested places. But still, about Sudan, this is exactly what is happening there.
We are not looking for grants or donations, but we are here to explore the opportunities of investments. These were the exact words from the Sudanese Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok as the country prepares for the upcoming Paris conference that could bring much-needed investments. We are going to the Paris conference to let foreign investors explore the opportunities of investing in Sudan. We are not going for grants or donations. Our citizens must know that we are going to affirm to the international development community the return of a strong and a deserving Sudan. Sudan's debt to the Paris Club, which includes major creditor country, is estimated to make up around 38% of its total $60 billion foreign debt. Hamdok and top Sudanese officials will be attending Monday's Paris conference, along with the French President Emmanuel Macron and World Bank and IMF representatives.
Now, Israel artillery pounded northern Gaza early Friday in an attempt to destroy a vast network of the militant tunnels inside the territory. Apparently, Palestinians militants have fired some 1,800 rockets, and the Israel military has launched more than 600 air strikes, toppling at least three permanent blocks, and at least 119 Palestinians have died in the Hamas since last week.
Explosions continued to shake the Gaza Strip overnight amid confusion over the Israeli army's tactics. A tweet published by the Israeli Defense Forces said air and ground troops were currently attacking the Hamas-run enclave, but hours later it clarified soldiers had not entered Gaza, blaming an internal communication problem for the mix-up. Instead, the army said it was using artillery in response to a new barrage of rocket fire. In Gaza's Shajaya neighborhood, air raids forced Palestinian families to flee en masse.
الضرب كتير. الصغار كلها انصرعت خافت، يعني احنا الكبار اللي شوف من يوم ما انولدت انا واحنا في الحرب صرنا بخفنا، يعني ما حدش قادر يتحمل هذا حاجه.
Red alert sirens sounded in several cities in southern Israel early Friday morning. There were reports of several wounded in rocket attacks in Ashkelon. Earlier on Thursday, residents of the city ran for cover as sirens warned of incoming fire. On Thursday, the Israeli army said it was amassing troops and tanks along the Gaza border and had called on 9,000 reservists ahead of a possible ground invasion. Hamas responded by saying ground attacks would be a chance for the group to, quote, increase its catch of soldiers.
I'll not go further than this. Of course, that is what we have for you in the news updates this afternoon within Uganda and also elsewhere in the world. But do not forget to still stay tuned on Resttv. We have other interesting programs. We have Katika at 5 p.m. We have a news bulletin in Luganda. If you missed this one, you can catch us at 7 p.m. And then we'll be having Never Give Up at 8 p.m. and Midnight Cry. That will be happening at midnight to 1. Have a very good afternoon and a beautiful weekend. Good afternoon.